All right, what's up, guys? I am officially in our other room. This is our other room that we have never really used before in our house since we bought it. It's a long story about this. I don't know if it's a cool story, but it's a story nonetheless about this house and how we got it and everything. And this was the last room we were going to fix up and mess with. And so I finished it a couple weeks ago, and I finally got a desk and everything here, so I'm out of everyone's way. So this is probably where I'm going to be doing most of the videos. Now, this video, I wish I had video of this because it was really like reminiscing of how I grew up fishing. My son who fishes but doesn't really care too much about it. Like, he's so into sports and everything, and I'm totally cool with that. We now live in a place that has this, like, when I say it's a hole, it is a hole that I can almost jump across of water down the street. It's like way on down there. And he went down there and caught some like goggle eye and things like that. So he now wants to go fishing. And I think the fishing part of it is irrelevant. I think it's more of like he's on his own and can do things on his own. Right, so he goes down there, but now he wanted to go fish on Livingston. We went back home, and the marina's right there, and I was like, yeah, this is where I spent every single day on the weekends. And then when I eventually moved up there, I was there every single day. Thousands of days growing up. That's how I learned to fish. It wasn't off of a boat. It wasn't using live scope. It wasn't doing any of that. It was walking that bank. And I learned so much from it. Now, I gave him what I thought he wouldn't get hung up with and everything. Gave him a spinnerbait and stuff. And I was like, here. And I showed him what to do, where to go. And I would follow him and throw behind him because I was going to sit there and fish too. And I ended up catching, he hooked one just for a second. Or he said he had a bite. I did catch one right there, like a 2-pounder. And then, I hooked it. I didn't land it. And then right after that, I catch one over 3. And I caught that on like a Strike King hardliner. I was like, I'm going to try this new crankbait that Strike King's got. So anyways, here's a picture of it. Now, I'm not going to lie. Livingston is a gar hole now. Like when I was there, Livingston was really good. When I say really good in my opinion. Like, growing up there was great. It wasn't good compared to Rayburn and all these other lakes, but it was good enough to where there are days I could go catch 10 or 15 fish walking the bank. On a good day, I caught tons and tons of fish over 6-7 pounds. I caught a lot of fish in that marina, and I could do a lot of things in that marina. I could catch them a ton of different ways. It's where I learned how to do everything from like throwing topwater, spinnerbaits, crankbaits, Carolina rigs, Texas rig worm. I mean, you name it, that's what I did there. So I was throwing this crankbait, and I caught one, and I was like kind of excited. I'm not gonna lie, I was really jacked up for it because I was going, oh man, I can still catch one, because I didn't even know if they freaking lived in here anymore. I mean, that place is just silted in and bad. But I'm throwing that crankbait around, and I realized how much I learned from that place. I was watching my son throw this spinnerbait around, and I told him where to throw. Like, when I say where to throw, like the angles he needed to throw, like where he was probably gonna get a bite. But he started throwing everywhere. And 2 things were happening. One, he started getting pretty good at casting. Although, I mean, he's casted before, don't get me wrong, but I was like, oh, he doesn't even fish that much, and he's getting better at casting. But he's throwing everywhere. And throwing everywhere, what you start to realize when you catch a bunch of fish is you start to realize the casts that don't mean anything. Like, you're never going to get a bite on that cast. You throw it out over deep water, things like that. I know that place like the back of my hand. I know everything in there just about. And what's crazy is I know it because as I'm cranking, I can feel the hard bottom. I know where it comes up quicker. I know where it drops off from the bank. I know I can get in certain places and throw certain angles and get better bites that way. I've thrown a worm off every single marina stall in every single direction there. There's nothing I don't know. Now, there might be some stuff on the bottom now that has like fallen off marinas or things like that. I don't know all that anymore. But I know the lay of the land, and there's no map to it. It's just here. I've seen it when it got low, but it's what I did fishing. And there's something to that. I don't care what anyone says. There's more. I forgot how much pride it is to catch fish from the bank. There's something about it. There's something a little bit special about catching fish from the bank. And the fact that you don't need a boat or electronics or all these things. It's just you walking the bank. I think, and I don't know this, so many of these young guys argue about a lot of things. They argue whether it be live scope. They argue whether it be like how they grew up fishing. And 90% of them, I think, grew up fishing from a boat. And I think a lot of us, the older guys, we spend a lot of time from the bank. Now, I think there's a lot of young guys fishing from the bank in ponds and things like that. But I don't think the guys out there, and I could be wrong. I could be wrong about this. But I don't think the guys that are making it to the top level were doing it as much. They're like, oh, I fish from the bank. I don't think you fished from the bank for 9 years, right? I mean, that's like, maybe you did it for a year, but like 9 years, that's all you didn't go on a boat ever. Like I was really never on a boat bass fishing for years. And I think there's a lot of guys that still don't have a boat. Older guys that still don't have a boat, still fish from the bank, still do a lot of these things. And I think that's the disconnect. I think that's the disconnect that a lot of younger guys are in this game, and they got the nice boats and the electronics and the live scope and this and that, and they're a little bit jaded on what reality is. And I think the disconnect is what will eventually kind of hurt fishing. I think there's I think that happens with a lot of sports and a lot of things, is that like when you grow up different or you go about things different, you can hear it in their voices. You can hear it by the way they speak and by the way they talk. And I think a lot of people are like, yeah, man, we didn't grow up the same. My video from yesterday was about Garmin shading on electronics. Like I talk about all that stuff, but that's how I grew up though, is this other way. And it took me years upon years upon years to get to where I'm at now. And even now, I look at all these young kids that are qualifying for the elites and stuff, and it just feels a lot different. Because I mean, I think every one of them, I never had a brand new bass boat till I was way past most of those guys' ages. I think that most of them are all in their 20s, and I'm going, yeah, man, it's just different. And I just thought that I'd bring that up because watch my son like fish around, and then watching how much I learned from just walking the bank, and then the pride of catching a fish from the bank. I don't want to say I forgot it. I didn't forget it. Maybe a little bit I forgot. I'm not gonna lie, but I mean it was pretty cool to go back there and catch fish like that and relive that. My son was like, "I thought you said you caught thousands of fish here." I'm like, "Well, I did over time." And he was like, "It's not that good." I'm like, "No, it's not that good." And he was like, "Well, I wish I would have grown up when you were here." And I'm like, yeah, I get it. I was like, it would suck now if I grew up here now. Like I wouldn't learn as much, because I would like catching fish. The more fish you catch, the better you get at it. And so I was like, yeah, man, if I'd have caught a tenth of the fish growing up, I wouldn't be as good. It wouldn't have. I don't care what anyone says. It wouldn't have helped me. Catching more fish helped me. Every single fish I catch helps me further and further, and it should you. But yeah, it sucks, and I'm like, hey man, all right, we're going to a lake. It's about to be Thanksgiving. We'll go to a lake, and he's in school and sports and everything, and I was like, we're gonna go catch him. I can't show. I got some videos of it, but we're crushing them right now on this one lake. And I'm testing out rods, testing out baits and things like that. So we're about to go in a couple days. But I do want to say, the guys that are fishing from the bank, the guys that are young, the guys that grew up without all the fancy stuff, just stay with it. There is pride. There's a lot of pride in catching fish that way. Yeah, don't think that some of us don't remember that. I do. I was all jacked up. Catching them on a new bait from Strike King. And like literally I was like walking. I literally was walking down the banks going, man, I used to do this every day and not fall in. The way the bull kids set up, I was like, and I was telling them like, this is the best air. I mean, there wasn't anything I forgot. It was great. Trust me. Just stay with it, man. That grind's fun. All right. See you guys.